In today's video, are there any benefits to waist trainers?
All by myself.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com. Welcome to today's video where we're going to talk a little bit about waist trainers, the idea behind them, positives, negatives, and should you be using one. So the question comes from my Instagram direct message, and so I took the question and I'll post it up here on the screen for you. So if you'd like to, go to my Instagram, send me a DM, and I'll post the questions as they come in, and we can talk about things like waist trainers. So as long as I can remember, when I got into this sport 10 years ago, the waist trainer was actually a very trendy thing. In fact, one popular coaching team here in Florida actually had a contract with their competitors that they were required to wear a waist trainer around the clock. That's right. So let's talk a little bit about the idea behind what a waist trainer is meant to do. Now, waist trainers have been around for a long time, way before the fitness industry. They used to be called corsets, and they probably still make corsets, and they had a purpose, okay? People would wear them underneath their clothing to give themselves the illusion of a different shape. So if you're doing it for that purpose, well, then perhaps there's a benefit there. If you are trying to simply change the way you look in your clothes and it's for fashion and that makes you happy, then I'm all for it. So what happened is, I think people got under the impression that if you were to do that, it would actually create a permanent change in the shape of your waist. And sometimes they're right, but at what cost? So if you look at what happens when you actually wear a waist shaper that's so tight, it can actually cause organs to move. And those organs should not be moved. Those organs can actually then create damage. That's right. There are some severe health issues that can come from rearranging your organs, as you might expect. Now, is rearranging your organs to see your waist look a little bit smaller worth it as a physique competitor? I don't think so. I think as physique competitors, we have a few things that we can do to make our waist look smaller. However, I would not suggest wearing a waist trainer for a few reasons. One, health scare. Two, if you wear a waist trainer and it is too tight, you can actually limit the use of your core muscles. Now, if your goal there is to decrease the size of your core muscles and you want to get weaker and have less stability in your core, well, then maybe that's the goal of wearing it. However, I would not suggest that, and here's why. When we think about making the waist smaller, we're not worried about the width from front to back this way, okay? We're not worried about this. We're worried about the width here on the sides. That's the illusion we want to create. We want to look wide and then narrow, okay? So when we train the muscles of the core, we do not get wider. We get thicker from the front. We get a little bit of fullness here, and in your posterior chain, you'll get a little bit of density in the lower back and the spinal erectors. Ooh, I feel good today. So I don't really tell my clients to limit core training or anything like that. In fact, I encourage it. But how do we go about making the core look smaller? Well, there's a few tricks we can do here. The first and the most important when you're on stage is going to be how you pose. Standing straight on can kind of, not give you the best look. Whereas if you turn a little bit, twisting the core that way, the shoulders this way, you can get some illusion. The most important thing, and hear me out here, get shredded, okay? If you get all the body fat off your core, the waist is going to come in. I know significantly my core looks better and better and better. Maybe I'll post some pictures up here. But honestly, the last 5 pounds of body fat that I lose, I feel like I lose like inches off my waist. It all just hangs on the lower abdomen, the lower back. For all us guys out there, you know what I'm talking about. So you probably haven't been truly shredded if you're worried about your waist. But there's still more that we can do, especially as men. Pack on lots of meat on your shoulders, on your lats, okay? These muscles are going to give the illusion that we are much wider up top, okay? And then if you are in a division like classic physique or bodybuilding, put some muscle on the quads, okay? Give yourself that X frame, okay? Now, if you're worried about how small your waist is and you're worried that you're not going to be able to change it, I want you to reach down, touch your pelvic bone, okay? That's called genetics, okay? You've all seen people with different structures, you know, with little tiny waists, wide waists. It's called genetics, okay? There's only so much we can do to change that. I would not suggest using a waist trainer that is going to permanently displace organs for the benefit of a physique competition, okay? That's just my suggestion. You guys do what you want to do. It's something I don't do with my athletes. I do not suggest waist trainers. Now, there is a benefit to using a belt to help stabilize your core while you're doing certain lifts. That is something completely different. Waist trainers, as I am explaining them, are meant to pull the body in, keep everything tight, and displace things so that there is a permanent change to the physical appearance. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All by myself.